Like flowers in the spring, women should be able to bloom wherever they are planted. What's up, people? Welcome back to the Winsple Talk Show. I'm your host, Priya Bhardwaj, author and co founder at Winsple. Here, I bring people all around the world to share the inspiring journey, which will inspire you to start your own. Subscribe to our channel to watch all the episodes for free. Hi, Shaundrelle.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking time to meet with me today.
Even thanks to you to take your time from your busy schedule.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shaundrelle, my first question is could you please share with me how sisters healing and evolving started? What was the spark that gave a thought to launch sister healing?
Well, the spark that caused me to launch Sisters Healing and Evolving Incorporated was it basically life circumstances. As a young girl, high school student in my senior year of high school, I had going into my senior year of high school, I had a 20-year Air Force plan, Air Force career plan out for myself. Well, I started making some decisions that caused life to change for me. And I became pregnant in my senior year. And so my thoughts were to continue on and go into the Air Force. But then I had my daughter and I didn't want to leave her with my parents because I didn't want to leave that responsibility on them, which I had the option to do that, but it was my choice, it was my decision, and so it was my responsibility, and I felt that I needed to meet the needs of that responsibility. So that started a whole life change for me because now I'm going from an 11-year, a 20-year Air Force career plan in the 11th grade to now I'm a teen mom, and so my life changed. And during those years from high school when I had her until about age 40, life was rough. And so there were things that I was dealing with during those years, and I didn't feel like I had those resources that I needed. So Sisters Healing and Evolving Incorporated fulfills those resources. So it's to give other women who and young girls who may be in similar situations or just going through life circumstances resources and tools to help them to realize that, hey, you went through these things. Life still doesn't take away the purpose that you were created with. And so you can still dig deep and find that purpose within you.
Okay, first of all, I respect your decisions, that you understand your responsibility. You have many other ways, but you kept with your decision. You take care of your child, which is a great thing. And secondly, going through that thing and then making other things easy for other women is a great thing. Not every person can do this because it needs a lot of courage to help others and to make things easier for others. So I
Yes.
respect you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. And it did. It took a lot of courage. As you said, Priya, it takes a lot of courage to do that because before I actually incorporated and made it an official business, I dealt with it starting the nonprofit and the organization for at least 2.5 years because there were things that were in my past that I weren't healed from. I wasn't healed from them. And so it was a spot of contention for me. I don't want people to see those things that I'm weak in. Now, Lord, you're asking me to go out and share these weaknesses with other women. And I was looking at it from a place of guilt, a place of shame, a place of regret. And then, I had to really dig deep in my spiritual life and to overcome those things so that I could move forward and be healed. And now I can talk about those things that once brought me shame, those things I was once carrying a whole lot of guilt about, and use those to help other women to say, hey, I've been there before. I understand, I can sympathize and empathize with the amount of guilt, the amount of shame and regret that you're carrying. But this is how I was able to overcome with the help of my spiritual life, and you can do the same. And so it's just a great feeling to be able to do that now.
Great. Shaundrelle, some people just want to listen this, that I am there for you. Okay. And you are
Yeah.
support for those people. Like you are
Yeah.
spreading so much positivity in this world by doing your work, organization you are running. You are spreading so much positivity and power to many women. So you are inspiration for all those women who want to want to come forward in their career and want to do something for other women also. So you are inspiration for all those people who have tired up from their life, who have given up on their life and want to do something, but they are not getting that lightning. You are lightning for all those people. So I salute you for this.
Oh, thank you. But it's only by the grace of God that it's
Mhm.
happened, because I mean, it was a long road. And, sometimes life can paralyze us in a place where we don't feel that we just don't have the support and the resources that we need. And so I do desire that Sisters Healing and Evolving Incorporated will be that resource, that tool, that community, to help another woman say, hey, I'm taking my life back.
Mhm.
My life is worth living. All of the things that I've experienced is making me who I am today. It's giving me courage. It's giving me boldness. It's giving me tough skin, to live in the now.
Yes. So Shaundrelle, I was going through your site and I read a
Mhm.
line that which is like flowers in the spring. Women should be able to bloom wherever they are planted. So, what made you think so deeply about women?
Well, it's you when you think about a woman, we're delicate, but at the same time, wherever we are, we give life. So, like a flower, we are beautiful, we're sweet scented, but some flowers can't bloom everywhere they're planted. With women, we have been given a grace, a
Mhm.
tenacity, so to speak, a resilience to wherever we are, if we have the right tools, the right resources, the right support, we can bloom wherever we are, no matter what we've been through, no matter what it looks like right now. If we have those things surrounding us, we can bloom wherever we want to. And so it's just been, I guess, a dare thing to me that as women, we have those opportunities to wherever we are to bring an impact, to bring light to a situation, to bring life to a situation.
Mhm. True, and I feel you are that right resource for the women. You are helping them to bloom.
Well, thank you. I'm trying to help them to bloom, because I'm still blooming. We're all still blooming. And so as I grow, I want other women to grow with me and to even grow surpassing me. It's always been my heart's desire just to see other people, especially women, to do
Mhm.
good and to succeed and to live successful and productive lives.
Mhm. So Shaundrelle, while discussing the success of women, what do you think that what education play a part in women life?
Education plays a great part in women's life, and we're not just talking about academic education, but we're talking about life skills. We're talking about everything from basic housekeeping to starting a business. So education is a major tool. It's a major, I would say, resource for women
Mhm.
who are looking to go beyond the cliche, which is, home being a home, raising children in the home. If you're looking to go beyond that, and there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom and raising children, because that in itself is a great job. It's a great career to have. But there's some women who desire to be businesswomen. There's some women who desire to be politicians. There's some women who desire to be the forefronters in science and technology. Whatever your desire is, then I would say education is a major tool in that.
Mhm.
It's going to give you this, not only the knowledge, but it'll help you with the wisdom in knowing how to apply it and when to apply it.
Mm. Somewhere, I strongly believe education is must for absolute women empowerment. Women who are educated are more likely to come forward and face the challenges compared to those who are not educated. It's give you the courage where you step out of the fears, like what people think. Even
Mhm.
if you see the ancient Indian history, women who are educated made a difference. Like, for example, King Janaka's daughter, Sita, her name comes in Asian Indian history. Sita used to go to Gurukul. Now, Gurukul means school. And she
Mhm.
used to participate in intellectual discussions in the court of Janaka. And we also find the mention of Rishika Anusua, like she was an environmentalist. With her
Mhm.
intense effort, she brought the 10-year drought in the forest to an end by just making for the channelizing of the Ganga river. And if we talk about the 19th century also, we see women with education who have reached the heights and inspired many, like for example Mother Teresa. She became the
Mhm.
first Indian woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Indira Gandhi, she became the first woman Prime Minister of India. Kalpana Chawla was the first Indian woman who reached in space. So I believe that there is no success without struggle. But not every woman has come forward in society to share on what she has gone through. So I also believe that somewhere education is must for women empowerment.
I can say, for instance, just taking my grandmother, for instance. And I actually have a program that's called Grandma Hands, and I won't jump ahead, but my grandmother on my father's side, my paternal grandmother, Zella Moore, her name is Zella Moore Mitchell, or was Zella Moore Mitchell. She's passed away now, but she had a seventh grade education. But she was very wise when it came to business dealings. She was very wise when it came to outreach or community dealings. She was very wise when it came to dealings in her home. So education can be empowerment tool, and I do support having education, especially academic education. I support that. But does every woman need a college degree to empower others? I don't believe that. I believe that what's on the inside of us gives us the boldness and the heart to empower other women. Because my grandmother, take for instance, she empowered many women in our community. She was a pillar of our community. She fed many people. She reared many children to go that went on to college and became lawyers, doctors, judges, police officers. Um, and so it's education is a tool that empowers us, but what mostly empowers us to empower other people is our heart, our mindset. And that's where the true power from internal comes to make us who we are.
True. So Shaundrelle, I can see that you have vast experience in different domains. So what are
Mhm.
the major differences you find when you work for others and now while you work within your organization?
The major differences are, I guess it would be more influence over day-to-day operations and day-to-day programs of how my operation runs, as
Mhm.
well as more hands-on with the community. Because with the nonprofit, because I'm still in corporate America, but it's a different setting. So in my nonprofit, it allows me to receive more fulfillment. I would say my corporate America job, it's a great job. It allows me to help others, but my true satisfaction, fulfillment, and I guess we say gratification comes from the day to day of my nonprofit, helping others and speaking into the lives of other women.
Great. So you're loving to work in your organization.
Yes, I absolutely love it. And my goal is to one day to be full-time in my organization. So that is the goal.
Great. So I found a very unique concept in your programs, which is called Grandma Hand. What is that?
Grandma Hands is based off of Zella Moore and my mother's mother, which is my other grandmother, Annie Pearl Daniels. And Grandma's Hands, as I said, it's an outreach program based off of their lives. They were wise women who helped other women and other families in the community, whether it was through watching the children, feeding them, helping them with clothing, whether they needed clothes sewn or they needed clothes repaired or just cleaned, they helped. It was with helping other women to realize, hey, you need to save your money. Um, and how to purchase land. So it's Grandma's Hands is an outreach community program. And so through that program, we are just being the hands and the feet and the mouth of God. And so what we do is we feed people through that program. We pass out or hand out toiletry items to help those who are homeless. We participate in community events, partnering with other organizations that either feed the homeless, help children receive shoes, help children receive books, um, help people receive haircuts, things that we sometimes take for granted, that we're able to go to the hair salon or able to go to the barbershop and get a haircut. So Grandma's Hands does all of those things. Anything that is able to help a neighbor, Grandma
Wow.
Hands.
Wow, I love this concept.
Thank you.
So, what are the changes life has brought to you after you started transforming lives of people?
Changes. The changes that was brought to me after I started transforming lives, I will say sometimes it becomes more difficult to release when it's time to disconnect, because I do tend to get deeply involved with my people, and sometimes when it's time to move on and help the next person, there's a lingering because I'm always concerned, I want to go back, I don't want to leave anyone behind. And then just changes with my that also have been brought to me was more satisfaction, more fulfillment out of life. I take great joy in getting up at 3:30 in the morning and, hey, what needs to be done today? Who am I going to talk to today? Who am I helping today? What kind of problems or we're solving today? What are we tackling today? So it's been very fulfilling. So more fulfillment has been the greatest aspect or change in my life.
Wow, great. So, like, could you give more examples, some examples of your clients after you have coaching sessions? Like, what impact those coaching session made on their life?
Well, coaching sessions are tailored to each person. So it just depends on the progress or the plan. For instance, for an example, a 56-year-old woman who is a business owner, who was reluctant to walk in her gifting, and just realizing that there was some limiting mindsets that was keeping her from being the subject matter expert that she is. Um, just being able to see that light bulb go off after, just general conversations. So much as not as a transaction, but just interpersonal reaction has been a great gift. Seeing a 26-year-old mom of two find her purpose in life again after she put her life on hold to rear her children, and now she's getting back into her, just walking back into the things or the dreams that she once had that was put on the back burner or buried underneath her life circumstances. Or a 65-year-old woman who is realizing that she can take control of her health, by
Wow.
just making simple mindset changes. So there's great joy in different aspects, just different impact um, that occurs from the coaching sessions. It just depends on the person, what they're dealing with, what are their underlying issues, what's at the root of your beliefs. because I think sometimes we don't take time to dig deep enough and see what's causing us to believe what we believe, or what has happened that would make us believe one thing over another.
Wow, helping people to find the purpose of their life, helping them to tackling the health situations. I think you are playing a part of being the doctor, also being a mentor also. So you're a person who can do anything by her coaching.
Sometimes it feels that way because we don't give advice, we coach, but it's just offering and providing different mindsets, different perspectives. When we open our mind to so much more and cut off those closed-minded beliefs and thoughts and ideas that we formulate about ourselves based on life circumstances, we can go very far. We can go very far once we open our minds to
Great. I'm in love with your thoughts, Shaundrelle.
it.
So there must be some challenges, struggle you faced in the beginning. So I would like to know about them.
In the beginning, well, I didn't know anything about being in a nonprofit. So there was the educational challenge, which required me to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to acquire this knowledge. So in the beginning, it was educational. It's funding. And those are things that we work through. So with education, I began to just enroll in courses, business courses. I began to sign up for business classes through the Women's Business Center of Charlotte. They actually, I've taken over 200 hours worth of courses with them to help me launch this nonprofit and to organize it and to structure it so that it would be able to grow into the full vision that I have for it. I worked with different people and I'm still taking courses. So education, like you said, it's empowering. It's helping to grow this business because it's required. And then just with the funding, working through different fundraisers, and it's been a lot of trial and error, but it's been good because now I can use those adverse outcomes and say, hey, let me share with you what I did in the beginning, and you may not have to make those same mistakes. So I always look at everything as whether it's a trial, a challenge, there's a lesson in it. And that lesson can be shared to empower others.
Mm-hmm. True. I also think that that we should grow in the life instead of being sad and thinking like might not be we are able to do this. Like you shared your story, like you open this as an education, but now you're into so many things. Now you're mentoring the people, helping them to understand about their life and so many things. So while mentoring the people, being a coach, what do you think about mental health? Like nowadays people find very difficult to handle about the mental things, and they find very difficult to tackle the mental health. So what do you think about this?
Well, I do believe that mental health has always been a major public issue. I do believe that the pandemic has shined a light on the severe state of mental health. Before, people went about their day to day and they used their jobs, their daily routines as an escape from their mental health state. Well, the pandemic caused us to be quarantined. So it caused us to come face to face with the things that we were escaping from through work, through school, through activities, extracurricular activities, or just, day-to-day life, hanging out with friends, those things. So I believe that now people are face to face, so to speak, with their mental health status and the things that plagued them every day that they were running from. And so now it's time to address it because there's no way to run, nowhere to run to. Those things are very limited, even though here in the US, things are reopening, but it's still very limited and life is no longer the way it was pre-COVID. So it's just time that mental health has received the priority that it needs, because our mental health really determines everything else in our lives. We just haven't given it the proper priority.
Hmm, true. Like you told that, pandemic tell us that what exactly mental issue is. Like it creates the awareness about it. And when
Mhm.
people were alone, quarantined in the house, they feel very difficult because we didn't, allow ourselves to have time with ourselves. We were always busy with some other people, with some other things. We didn't have time for ourselves. And when pandemic came, we were quarantined, and it was a time when we were alone in the home, and some people feel very difficult to tackle that situation. And some people, this some people also affect by thinking on the mental health also. So I think, yeah, awareness of mental health is very important nowadays. And and there should be always one person who can listen to them.
Exactly. And listening is the best thing that you can do for someone who's dealing with mental health. Sometimes people just need, and more, not sometimes, but the majority of the time,
Mhm.
someone just needs to be heard. They need to be heard. They need to have their feelings heard. They need to be acknowledged. And that's why I always coach people to acknowledge your emotions, acknowledge your feelings. It doesn't mean that you have to stay there, but they must be acknowledged, because unacknowledged feelings turn into so much more. And it can become a health issue, such as cancer. It can become a suicidal attempt. It can become so many things if it's just not acknowledged. And so the best thing is to acknowledge it, to be true to yourself. Because when we acknowledge our mental health and say, hey, I'm just not feeling like doing anything today. I'm just not feeling the best today. I feel angry today. I feel aggressive today. I feel sad today. Those are true feelings. Those are real feelings. Once we acknowledge it, then we can deal with it. But if we don't first acknowledge it, there's no dealing. We can't deal with something that we don't acknowledge.
True. Absolutely. So Chandra, what advice would you give to someone who are in struggling phase in their life?
Don't give up. There's a season for everything. There's a season to reap the benefit of your struggle. There's a season for you to struggle. But don't give up. You're so much more valuable. You're needed, I would say, and to learn, to look for the lesson in everything, to look for the positive, because even though things may be a struggle right now, there's something in that struggle that when you get to the other side, you're going to realize it was an actual blessing for you.
True. I love the way you answer each and every question in so positive way. And while answering it, you in every question, in every answer, you are, bringing some output, like bringing some one motivational thing.
Thank you. Well, it's easy for us to be negative. It's no effort required to be negative. With all of the things that we see, all of the things that we deal with, there's no effort that is required to be negative. But there is effort. We have to put forth a conscious effort, I would say, to be positive and to transform our thinking, because our mindset determines everything. Our mindset determines whether we stay in a situation that is negative, or if we take the next step, not knowing what lies on the other side, and move forward. But it's a mindset. And so when we are positive and we feed positivity to others, I did a post not too long ago, the meal that we feed, the meal that we feed to ourselves are the meal that we feed to others. So if we're constantly feeding our minds negativity, we're going to always be feeding negativity to others. But if we're feeding our minds positivity, that means the things that we're watching, the things that we're reading, the things that we're hearing, the conversations that we're having with one another, if we make those positive, then we can spread positivity to others. Even it doesn't matter how small or how great it is. A seed of positivity goes a long way.
Yes, true. So, Shaundrelle, like, how do you handle work pressure? Like, you are a mother also, and how do you handle your business and home?
With grace, and that's grace for myself and grace for others. We have to learn or get to the place where we understand and accept that it's okay. It's okay not to finish something today. It's okay that things didn't go the way that we planned today. If we awake tomorrow, it's a brand new day. It's a brand new opportunity. Try again. It's okay to try again. And so it's just, I don't know, with the pandemic, it's just made me, because one time I used to be really hard on myself. Perfectionist. Everything had to be, the details had to be exactly how I wanted them. Well, that caused me undue stress. And it can cause others undue stress. And then when I'm stressed, others can be stressed. So we have to also remember that what we're dealing with, we're not the only one dealing with. You know, it affects our teams, it affects our families, it affects the people in our community. So if we learn or accept that it's not just about us, then we can deal with the challenges and the trials and the things that come up, to say, hey, it's not been a day that I planned. You know, things happen a little differently today. Then we can move forward and understand that it's okay. It's just simply
Yes.
okay.
Yes, it's completely fine if we fail. At least we give a try. And whenever you fail, I think we should again we should again stand up, and we should give more 100% to our task, so that one day we reach to our goal. So like you told, it's completely fine to try again. Yeah, because
It is.
yeah, everything cannot be perfect.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everything cannot be perfect, and it's perfectly okay. And that in
Yes.
itself is perfectly okay for it to not be perfect. And so it's just, as I've said, it goes back to our mindsets. It is totally dependent upon our mindsets. And if we have the mindset to say that everything must go the way that I planned it today, then it's going to be days, more days where it's not a good day than it would be more days where it's, hey, I had a great day today. Not everything went as I planned, but it was still a great day today. So we just have to open our minds, and address the issues that cause us to think the way that we think.
True. Okay. So Shaundrelle, could you please tell me what was the impact of COVID-19 had on your mission, and how did you overcome?
Well, COVID-19, we actually became official at the height of COVID-19. So our plans were for a brick and mortar, in-person services and facility. Well, COVID happened right at the beginning of us launching. And so we had to pivot, and to change our plans to become virtual. So our services, our events, how we communicate with our clients become virtual. So everything was moved to Zoom, or we did live streaming, social media, and social media was more used than we had originally intended it to be. So we just had to pivot, um, and move with the time, because we were vastly launched into a virtual setting when we had not planned for one.
Mhm. True. For some people, it become very difficult to handle all the things virtually because they were not knowing about all the social media platforms.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah, but they didn't, give up. They learn it, and finally they learn how to use it.
Yeah. And that's what we had to do. We had to get in and learn, attend webinars on how to operate the software. And there are still days that we were learning as we go. We were learning as we went about our day-to-day activities, our lives. We were learning how to operate Facebook Live, making sure we could see the comments, making sure people could see us. So it was challenging in the beginning, but I mean, we stayed on doing our lives for 2 years, and we recently, just I believe last month, stopped doing the 5 a.m. live and took a break from that. So and just getting back into more hybrid and hybrid events and in-person events.
True. Shaundrelle, you are inspiration for many people. Like if I talk about me personally, after looking at you, what you are giving to the society, you are role model for me. You inspire me a lot. So I want to know that for you, what is the definition of success?
The definition of success to me is to set goals and to achieve them. It doesn't mean that your path will be straightforward and there will not be valleys, hills, and mountains. It means that you did not give up. You were resilient. You had tenacity. You stood the course and achieved what you wanted to achieve. So it's not about just the end. It's about the middle for me, what it took to get from the beginning to the end.
Great. So like, what do you enjoy most now? Being where are you now?
What I enjoy most now is just one more time having more control over my day-to-day schedule, being able to spend more time with people, even if it's virtual, and just having conversation that's meaningful. I enjoy just the impact, being able to see people's lives change, because we're not just changing the lives of the women that we coach, we're changing the lives of their families as well. Because I always say, if you change the life of one woman, you're changing the life of a community.
True. So, changing the life of many women, giving them coaching sessions, helping people to, to understand the purpose of their life, being a coach. So, according to you, how do you define a coach or leader?
How do I define the coaching? I would say it's just personal, person to person, day-to-day communication. And what that is I'm sharing. I believe that the coaching is sharing as well as guiding in things that I want to make sure my charge is plugged up, guiding you to a better or more productive life. And when I say productive, that means that you're able to meet the needs of your life on a daily basis, because there's things that we need daily, and sometimes we're not able to meet those needs. And so with the coaching, I define it as looking back, but moving forward.
Great. So to our audience, could you please tell me how they can book a session with you?
They may book a session with me by going to our website as well, which is sistershealingandevolving.org. They also may send me an email at sgreen@sistershealing.org. And they also may use my calendar. I do have a Calendarly link that you can schedule an appointment.
Okay, thanks. So Shaundrelle, what has been your biggest wow moment?
I guess for me, the biggest wow moment was when I realized that the things that I went through in life actually helped someone else. And that to me was a wow moment. It let me know, it was like a confirmation that all that you've been through, it was not in vain. It was for a purpose. And that purpose has been manifested today.
Oh, and for me, the wow moment is that I'm taking your interview.
Well, thank you, Priya. You're so kind. But it's definitely it's just a good feeling, a confirmation from God, as I've seen all that you've been through. but I'm still able to use all that you've been through to impact the lives of others.
Great. So how do you manage anxiety, failure, and fear?
I manage it by not putting unrealistic expectations on myself and on others. We, especially as women, sometimes we tend to set unrealistic expectations for ourselves and for others. And I handle that anxiety and fear and failure by not doing that. And then, as I said earlier, understanding that although it did not work out or it didn't turn out as I planned, it's just a stepping stone. It's the making of who I am and who I am going to be.
Wow. So what are your future plans now? I want to know it.
Well, my future plans is um, to to launch our Purpose Minds, which is another mental health aspect or program that's targeted towards mental health, but it's targeted towards the mental health aspect of homelessness. Because there is a lot of homelessness. The homeless population in America is very high. And no one really talks about, when we talk about homelessness, no one is really talking about or addressing the mental health aspect of homelessness. And so that has been something that has been dear to me and that's been on my heart. So I'm going to be launching a project to capture those needs and to see how we can meet those needs.
Like you told that it's a major problem in America. Now, being a major problem, everyone can, understand it, everyone can see it. But you took a decision to make a change, to solve that problem. And that's why I call you a blessed child of the God.
Oh, thank you. Well,
So,
it's an honor.
say.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be able to be used by God. And it's a privilege that we should never take for granted. To be used by God, it's the highest honor that we can receive.
True. Even I think same that we should always give something to the society because this is a creation of the God. And being a child of the God, we should always need to spread positivity in entire
Yes,
world, and we should make this world a better place to live in for each and every person, no matter he or she is a rich or poor.
that's right. And that is so true.
Yeah. So Shaundrelle, that's all from my side. Do you have any questions for me?
I do. You, from the interactions that we've had, you are such a wonderful young lady. And so I just want to know, and I want the world to know, what makes Priya what made Priya decide to do these interviews? What are you hoping to accomplish through your interviews?
Okay, so when I was child, I always have a thought to give something back to the society. And I always try to find that platform that what I can give to the society. So I just in the pandemic, I searched the Google that being a student what I can do. I came familiar to the term called internship, so I started my internship journey last year 2021. And while switching in internship from one company to another company, I feel that this I don't want to do. I can't keep switching from one company to another company. Then and at the same time I was very clear that being an employee also, I don't want to switch from one company to another company. I want to do something in my life which can help me, and then I can give something back to the society. Because if I don't have anything, how I can give back to the society, how can I help someone? So it was very clear in my mind that I want to be someone who can do something for the society. Then I joined internship in Winsple company in September 2021. After there were many interns with me, they complete the internship and they left. And the company told me to extend the internship period after looking at my performance. I extended, then slowly, they told me, okay, do you want to be our co-founder? So I thought, yeah, I can be. Being a co-founder, I can give something back to the society. I
Yes.
can have that platform, I can have that power, I can have that voice where people can
Mhm.
listen to me. So I believe there are two sides of the coin. On the normal side, and there's one other side, that is inspiring side, which is hidden within the people. So
Yes.
in Winsple, I started an initiative which is called We Inspire People. It is an
Oh,
initiative around the globe from bringing such stories from each corner of the world where people, just not share the story, but they inspire other people also, how they can overcome and how they can inspire someone else. For example, you have gone through so many things, and after going through all these things, you are inspiring many other people, and you are changing the life of the women over there.
I'm excited that you took the initiative to bring this diverse group of interviews, to other women that are going to empower people and inspire them to be so much more. It's just amazing. And then you talk about the having the power to impact others. What you're doing and what you're bringing to, I guess, social media and to the world is just amazing. And I'm excited to see all of your interviews, and I'm excited to see how much impact this is going to make, because I do believe that it's going to make great impact.
And definitely, it's, I also hope that it makes a impact, and many women can inspire from others people's story and can bring a change in their life, and can find the
Mhm.
purpose of their life and can move ahead.
Yes, yes, and that's what it's about. It's about not leaving anyone behind and doing your part. And I believe that through these interviews, through your initiative, you're doing your part. Just as I'm trying to do my part, you're doing your part. And that's what it's all about. As we say at Sisters Healing and Evolving, we're striving to fulfill our purpose in life. Um, and that could be several different purposes. And I believe that this purpose here is well worth it. It's very much needed. And that it's just going to go very far. It's going to be a great initiative.
Yeah, thank you so much for your kind words.
No worries. No, I truly mean it. I truly, truly mean it.
Yeah. Yeah, so Shaundrelle, if you know any other women who has done something extraordinary and can be inspirational for other women, please make sure you connect that women with me. I want to talk to
I
people.
will. I will. I have some great women in mind that would be more than happy to interview with you and to sit down and talk with you about the initiatives that they're doing. It's just very empowering. And it's always good to be able to, connect other women with women that are willing to just pour out.
True. So thank you, Shaundrelle, for your time, and thank you so much for being a part of this show. And being a part of this show, you just increase the positivity of this show. So thank you so much.
Thank you for interviewing me, and thank you for having me. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Bye bye.
I hope you guys enjoyed the session today. If you want to be part of this show, please do get in touch with me. Links are in description. To watch more inspiring stories, subscribe to our channel.